Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies. This is part 2 of the tune-up on a 2001 Chevy Tahoe with a 5.3 liter engine in it. This will be the same, if not very similar, to many makes and models. If this does help you out, make sure you comment below with the year, make, and model of the vehicle that this video helped you on. The difference in this video might be your torque specification. Other than that, everything should be pretty similar. If you comment below with the year, make, and model, I might be able to help you out with the torque spec on your spark plugs as well. I will be listing those torque specifications for my vehicle in the description below and as we go. Make sure you look for a link in the description to purchase parts and tools needed to get this job done. The driver's side took me a little bit longer than I thought. Hopefully the passenger side won't take as long, but the rear passenger spark plug is a pain in the butt to do. You have your AC accumulator right there and you got to squeeze your hand in there. It's a pain in the butt. I think I might use a double swivel to remove it on this video. If I do, there'll be a link in the description below. But let's get going on the passenger side on this 2001 Chevy Tahoe 5.3. Be the same for a ton of vehicles. Here we go. Like, subscribe, and share while you're watching. Here on the passenger side, I figured it would be easier to go ahead and remove all the spark plug wires first and then remove the spark plugs in that fashion rather than doing one spark plug at a time. Come to find out, it took just as long, if not longer, to do it that way because the number 8 spark plug is still a pain in the butt to do no matter what. So first I'm going to remove my spark plug wires and set them off to the side. You can see I'm going to get into number 8 spark plug really soon, which is under the AC accumulator right there, and you have a little heat shield. In this video I do use a double swivel to remove the spark plug out of the hole or to loosen it. You can't take it all the way out without double swivel because you don't have enough room, but we'll get to that a little bit later down the road. Again, removing the spark plug wires, setting them off to the side. I'm not going to be replacing these, or I'm going to be replacing these, sorry, so I'm not going to be keeping them. I'm just throwing them off to the side. I'm going to get rid of them later. If you need spark plugs or the tools shown in this video, make sure you look for links in the description below to purchase those as you watch. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share too while you're watching. Tell everybody about me, all your friends, anybody taking care of their own vehicle. This is a 2001 Chevy, and I like the intro said, it's the same for a lot of vehicles. When I tighten down my spark plugs, I use my torque wrench and properly torque down all the spark plugs. Some people use a anti-seize lubricant on their spark plugs, and to me that changes the specifications or the grip or the torque specification, I should say. So I do not use anti-seize when I do my tune-ups, but I do use a lot of dielectric grease, and you'll see that later on down the road or down the video when we get into installing the spark plug wires. Loosening up the spark plugs one at a time using a 3/8 drive with a 5/8 spark plug socket that has a magnetic keeper in it makes it a little bit easier. But this number 8 cylinder, it's really hard to get to. That's the most painstaking portion of this whole job. So make sure you have lots of time and patience to get this one done. You can see I'm getting it loose, almost have it out right here. When you remove your spark plugs, you should be taking a glance at each and every spark plug to read the spark plug, see if there's something that you could find in advance or find a problem in advance to it actually going wrong. So hopefully it's a preventative maintenance, that is, rather than a corrective maintenance. We'll go over a few things here. Let's say when you pull your spark plug out, it's really dry, it looks burnt, like it's been in a fire or such. That could be a really good condition or a good indication that you're running lean, which running lean increases NOx, which is a gas created in the combustion process when the combustion gets at a higher temperature. So the higher the temperature, the higher the NOx. If you're chasing a NOx problem and you find this, it's not going to be the spark plug causing the problem. It's going to be probably a fuel delivery system problem. Now let's say you get that spark plug out and it's really dark, a little bit wet, but it smells like fuel rather than coolant. That could be a good indication that you're running really rich. That could be because the combustion chamber has lost its compression, or it could be too much fuel being added to the combustion process. If you pull the spark plug out and it looks normal, then hey, you're running normal, you're running good, and you're really doing a preventative maintenance rather than a corrective maintenance. When I remove my spark plugs, I check the gap as well as checking the gap when I put them in. The reason I check the gap when removing them, it could give me an indication that it'll help me in a diagnosis process, I should say. Because if I find a larger gap, that could be a reason why I'm running in a certain condition, either a rich condition or a lean condition. If I have an oversized gap in a vehicle like this with a normal ignition system and it's not a hyped up ignition system, the bigger gap will cause a rich condition because it's not going to be able to burn efficiently. You're not going to get the spark to jump all the way across the electrode. There is a sweet spot. You want it to make a larger jump. The larger the jump, the better on the electrodes on the spark plug, but you can get to where the gap is too big and it can't jump, and a regular ignition system as such on this vehicle won't make that larger gap. Say you're getting into a race application to where you want a more efficient burn. If you make the gap larger, you're going to get more of a spark surface area, I guess you could say, to where the spark will ignite more of the fuel efficiently in the combustion chamber, but that's with an upgraded ignition system. When I install my new spark plugs, after I gap them, I always use a little piece of a hose to start the spark plug into the cylinder, or into the cylinder head, I should say. That's just in case if I get a spark plug cross-threaded, a hose or the hose will never allow me to actually cause damage doing that cross-thread. If it gets hard after a turn or two, I'll just back it out and try it again using that hose. And then as soon as I get a few turns on it, I'll come back with a socket and a palm wrench, tighten it up to where I get my torque wrench on it. On this truck, the torque specification is 11 foot-pounds. That doesn't seem like too much, but hey, that's what they recommend, so that's what I'm going to. Again, starting using a hose, getting the spark plug into the cylinder, really one of the best ways to start them. Trust me, you should try it and it'll work out great for you. While we finish installing the spark plugs on the passenger side, let's go over a little more of the conditions or what your spark plugs can tell you about the condition of your vehicle or how you're running. Hopefully you're pulling out a normal looking and smelling spark plug out of your vehicle, and if so, hooray for you. Good job keeping up on your preventative maintenance. Keep up the work and don't stop now. So make sure your air filter's done, fuel filter, all that other good stuff. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share too while you're watching. Alright, so if you pull out a spark plug and it looks black, it's dry, you got a bunch of little like fluffy stuff on it, it looks like maybe the electrodes are touching. That could be a carbon fouled plug. That could be an overly rich fuel condition where you're just dumping fuel into the combustion chamber. It could be a dirty air fuel, just gasping for air. And it could just be that you're not driving your vehicle enough. Take that thing out on the freeway, drive it around. Let somebody borrow it maybe. Somebody that will respect your vehicle though, not somebody that will destroy it for you. But get it up there, drive it around. Get some use out of it. But still, if you are not driving it as much, keep up with the maintenance on the spark plugs, because if that gap does start to shut and you're driving it around with a fouled spark plug, it's not going to be good for the engine. You can see I'm trying to put this number 8 spark plug back into the cylinder. Again, it's really hard on this back one. I don't want to discourage you too much, but I put this in a little bit of a speed up on the good old editor for you. Thank God. But it is a pain in the butt to get to. I'm not sure if I told you that. So when you get to that number 8 cylinder, good luck. Let's go over another spark plug. Let's say you pull out a spark plug and it's wet. It doesn't smell like coolant. It smells more like oil or maybe oily fuel mixture. Fuel because you're in the combustion process. You get it? You got a little bit of oil deposits on the electrode and whatnot. That would be an oil fouled spark plug. That means you're getting oil in the combustion chamber. There's a couple reasons how or why you get oil into the combustion chamber. One is the PCV valve going bad, which causes an excess of pressure from not allowing the crankcase fumes and vapors to get released into the intake and burnt through the combustion process. So the PCV valve could be bad, which could have caused either your rings to go bad on your pistons or maybe a valve guide seal in the engine. Finally got number 8 out and started with the little hose that I used to get the spark plug started. Getting the torque wrench to fit in there now was another issue. I used a little, I think it's about 1.5 inch extension on my spark plug socket to get my torque wrench to fit in there. Now that the hardest spark plug in the whole truck is done, which is number 8, we're going to move on up to the number 2 cylinder. That's going to be the most forward cylinder on your passenger side. I already loosened it up a little bit, so using this palm wrench should get it out nice and easily. This speeds up the process for you if you do have one of these little things. If you don't, look for a link in the description below to purchase one. But we're going to go ahead and remove the spark plug, get ready to torque it down. And in the part 1 of this video, I did mention the beam style torque wrenches. And you might want to invest in one of those as well as the click style if you have not bought one yet, or maybe if you want to upgrade or buy some more tools. The beam style might be a better way to go when you're torquing down components or nuts and bolts. So with those spark plugs again, we're going to go back to if you removed a bad spark plug. The last few little things that could be. Say you have some blisters on the insulator or a melted tip, or the electrodes are burnt together, actually burnt together and not corroded together with carbon like the last one we went over. Now that would be a burnt spark plug. From overheating, the gap was too wide, maybe your spark plug was loose somehow, or you have a very lean air-fuel mixture. So after you replace the spark plugs, there might be a little bit more diagnosing you might want to do to figure out why your engine's not running at its optimum, unless maybe you did, like I said, you had that loose spark plug, or when you put them in last time, maybe the gap wasn't correct, and you just have all that problem caused from that. So those are mostly what you're going to find when you remove the spark plugs out of your engine. If you do find something else, or you have another symptom, or you have a drivability issue, make sure you comment below, ask away. If I can't help you, maybe somebody else can. So don't be afraid to use that comment section below. Again, we're torquing these spark plugs down to 11 foot-pounds. This process will be the same, if not very similar, to many makes and models of the Chevy, GMC, the GM line, Chevy lines of the V8s. Very similar. But the difference is going to be the part number on your spark plugs might vary, and also your torque specification. So if you're working on a different type of vehicle, make sure you comment below and ask away. Hey, what's my torque specification on a, let's say, a 2008 Chevy Tahoe or something like that? And I'll double check the book and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I usually get online or look at comments and stuff once a week, I should say. So if I don't get back to you real quick, expect a reply fairly soon. I try to get to most of them. So make sure you comment below. Use that comment section. Now I'm using my dielectric grease. I am a huge fan of dielectric grease. I use it a little bit excessively, but it keeps the moisture out of where the connection is at, and also it doesn't let any rust build up or get any dust in there, no water in there. It just makes everything last longer and gives it more of a sealed connection, as well as allowing the electrode to actually make a good contact and jump. If there's a little bit of a gap to where the electrode needs to jump, this will make that jump a little bit easier. It gives it a good conductor. So dielectric grease, use it on everything. If you can, I highly recommend it. And you'll be able to find a bottle, something like this, in the description below. Look for a link for it. I'll try to find you a really good deal on it too. So use those links as much as you can, please. With these MSD wires, they have a really nicely built or conveniently built spark plug wire that has a tiny little, it's about a 45 on one of the spark plug boots, or in one of the spark plug boots, and it is meant for this number 8 cylinder. It makes it so that the spark plug boot does not rub on the heat shield of your AC condenser right there. I keep calling it condenser, but it's an accumulator, right under your accumulator right there. So it makes it perfectly positioned, and you won't be having any rubbage right there and like arcing sooner than it should. Or it should never arc, but you'll get arcing if it rubs on that little heat shield down there. So make sure you have no rubbing on your spark plug wires. When you install your spark plug wires onto the spark plug or onto the ignition coil, you want to push them firmly on to where you feel a click or hear a click before you move on to the next component. If you don't feel that click, you might not have a good connection, and it might rub off or vibrate off while you're driving. So just make sure you get that good click. I am using these MSD wires in this video. You can use OE specification wires and pretty much probably get the same outcome as I'm getting. I just really like the MSD wire set, and they're red, so it looks cool when you open the hood, I guess. But I just really like the MSD wire set. That's the only reason why I'm using them in this video, not to actually do an upgrade, or I'm not sure if it makes an upgrade on anything or makes it more efficient. It's just pure like love for the product. So if you do want spark plug wires, either MSD or a regular OE set, make sure you look for a link in the description as well. I should be able to find you the best deal out there, and I'll provide a link for you too. So use those links again. Oh yeah, did I tell you to like, subscribe, and share while you're here? Especially if this video helped you out. Comment below, let me know the year, make, and model of the vehicle that this helped you out on. And just let me know. I appreciate it. I love helping you guys. So make sure you let me know below what you were working on. As you can tell, this number 8 cylinder is a pain in the butt all the way around. It was hard getting that spark plug wire on, as well as everything else that had to do with that cylinder in this tune-up process. You can see I'm clicking this number 6 spark plug wire onto the spark plug. I was having a little bit of a problem, but hey, I got it. So that's it. That's all I really need to do. Make sure you're not rubbing on anything. These wires should be free of everything, not touching any other metal or other components or anything like that. Just be pretty, make sure you're aware of where they're going, what you're touching. So just make sure you're doing a good job here. Slow down, take a look at everything, admire your work. I do it all the time, so don't be afraid to do it. If you have a personal preference or have a little life hack on doing a tune-up, make sure you comment below. Let everybody know about it. I always like to learn new things, like that little trick or tip I showed you with the hose installing the new spark plugs. I thought that was pretty cool when I was taught by an older mechanic that many moons ago. Looks like we've made it darn near to the end on this one. Thank you for sticking through this whole video. It was a whole darn near 18 minutes long. Hopefully one of these 2 videos will help you out on your next DIY repair. Make sure you comment below, ask questions, and please like, subscribe, and share before you leave. I will see you on the next hopefully helpful video. And thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies. Good job getting the job done.